Hey guys, what's up? So, welcome to another video, and this video is going to be dedicated to the RWBY community, to anyone out there who considers themselves to be a RWBY fan, if you've been a fan of the series for any extended period of time, or even if you're like me and have been around since the trailers. I want to open a dialogue, I want to talk to people, I want to get the general consensus and the general opinion on the topic of this video, because I feel like something like this is something that we all know about, we all hear about, we talk about it from time to time, but for the most part, no one comes to the forefront to address it. Everyone kind of brushes it under the rug and just lets it blow over. And this is kind of in response to some things that happened yesterday to me on YouTube and on Twitter, and a big part of it is in regards to my Salem Sacrifice AMV video. Now, first and foremost, 24 hours later, that video has grown, has blown up. It has almost, in 24 hours, it has already close to 40,000 views, almost 1,000 comments, very engaging in terms of people's perspective on it, and, you know, kind of having people, like, Volume 3 in general is just causing so many, Volume 6 in general is just causing so many people to kind of look at the show from a new perspective. It kind of changes the show forever, causing people to go back to the origins of the show, you know, digging deep and finding a bunch of different foreshadowing, context clues and stuff like that. And it's really great to see overall. And more importantly was, like, that video was something that me and a friend of mine, Kevin, put together. We dedicated our entire weekend to breaking down the lyrics, to finding specific scenes that worked. And we're both really happy with how it turned out. And a lot of people do too. And however, there is a portion of the community who have kind of taken that video and turned it into something of a controversy in the community, that kind of bleeds into theory crafting and the topic of the video. So I do want to say really quick, I am not offended by anything regarding the video, regarding those opinions, but I have for too long stood on the sidelines and have acknowledged these issues and have said nothing. And I know in the past I've mentioned, and I've come to YouTube and I've talked about my problems with certain things in the community, some things I like, some things I don't like. And for the most part, people are really level-headed and kind of understand the approach and things that, you know, perspectives that I'm talking about and understand where I'm coming from. And this is one of those times. This is kind of like the whole Blake situation and the menagerie situation, right? Like the faunus. Like, if you know what Adam's doing and he's doing it all, you know, in the name of the faunus, and if you acknowledge what he does and do nothing and stand on the sidelines, then you have only yourself to blame for the act, you know, for other people judging you based on what a group of your people or a group of your community does that represents the whole. So I apologize in advance if I do get a little passionate about this, because it is something that is rubbing me the wrong way to an extent. But when did we, and when I say we, I mean like we as in the people that kind of notice this and do something about it. I mean we for the people that advocate this and kind of are the cause of it. And I mean we for the people who acknowledge these things, stand on the sideline and do nothing. Why are we so arrogant? Why are we so competitive? What happened to perspective? What happened to thinking outside of the box? What happened to having fun? What happened to creativity? What happened to imagination? What happened to a conversation? What happened to discussion? What happened to us? Why are we like this? So like I said, I put out my Salem Sacrifice video, and I love that video. It came out so perfect. So many people like it. But like I said, it's in the middle of controversy with certain people in the fandom, because I basically was labeled as someone who's spreading false information, who's misleading people, who's damaging the fandom because of the fact that my theory goes against what other people think, or what other people interpret, or what other people consider to be gospel truth, or what considered to be factual or canon, right? Sacrifice in RWBY is the gift that keeps on giving. People think it's about Cinder, people think it's about Raven, and my AMV video draws parallels to it could be potentially about Salem during her youth. And I made that video out of nothing more than just the sheer imagination of it, the creativity of it, my first AMV. Me and Kevin's first AMV that we've made. And I was taken aback by that. I was like, what? Why would anyone interpret me making an AMV about a cool parallel, taking moments of chapter 3 of volume 6 and taking Sacrifice and drawing similarities and how you could think it in that way. That's what the whole point of theories are, aren't they? To think, to be different, to be creative, to, you know, to develop conversations, to just have fun. I'm a content creator on YouTube. I make reactions, I make reviews, I make discussion videos, I'm getting into theory, and that's the thing too. This is like my biggest issue with it, right? I always used to think that I couldn't make theory videos because I wasn't good enough. I always had this mentality that I'd beat myself up, and I would see people like Eruption Fang and That Kaito Dan who make these really rich, compelling, really high quality theory videos, and I'd be like, damn, I wish I could think like that. I wish I can produce videos like that. My first theory that I ever made last year, completely wrong theory, turned out to be completely wrong, by the way, but I labeled it as a discussion and not a theory because of this, but that theory was really well done. I loved the direction I went with it. People who watched it liked it too. And it was my first attempt at kind of theory crafting in RWBY. The reason I don't theory craft is the same reason why I don't talk about ships. It's the same reason why I don't engage in theories that are controversial, like is Crow Ruby's dad. It's also reasons why I kind of distance myself from certain aspects of the fandom. Reddit, I can't go on Reddit without people insulting me, without seeing people insult Miles and Carrie, without people at each other's throats because their headcanon and their perception of the show is being challenged against by other people who have a different mindset or a different, basically just a different level of looking at things, a difference of opinion, right? I can't interact with Facebook groups anymore because that's just like freaking high school drama. Like it's ridiculous, and I can't get into, and I've never been able to get into theories because of that dynamic, like that unfortunate dynamic. Like I said, I've been around since the show started, since the trailers. I've seen the fandom at its greatest, and I've seen the fandom at its worst. And one thing, as if you consider yourself to be someone in this community, in this fandom, who cares about it and cares about the people who work on the show and cares about your fellow, you know, your fellow fans, people that you engage with, the sad truth is, as a fandom, when we take the good, it makes all of us look good. When we take the bad, it makes all of us look bad. And if we as fans and we as a fandom don't say anything, don't step forward to confront this, it makes all, first off, it makes all of us look terrible, and second of all, it's never going to stop. Okay? First off, I don't consider me spreading information, misleading people, damaging the fandom, damaging the show, damaging certain characters' perspective. Like I said, Sacrifice could be about Cinder. Sacrifice can be about Raven. Sacrifice can be about Salem. Why? Because the last thing you should be taking as gospel truth or as a source of fact are the songs. Jeff has already confirmed, don't take them literally. Casey has already confirmed, don't take them literally. And when it comes to Miles and Carrie, I don't think they've really ever said anything that would contradict that thought. Like that, the songs are like flavor text to the show, but you should never consider them as like hard facts. And that's really what where my video is right now. There are some people that are using my video as a platform to be like, ha, I'm right, you're wrong, go fuck yourself, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a moron, you're stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why are we like this? Why are certain people like this? Why can't we just have our own mindset of what we believe or what we want to believe or what we think will happen in the show, and separate that from somebody else who's bringing in a different perspective, who's bringing in a different way of looking at things? You can still disagree, but you don't have to go to the extent of talking down to them, or even like to go to the extent to say that I'm damaging the fandom, or I'm a fucking guy making YouTube videos and having fun. I'm not responsible for how anybody else wants to think about this. Everyone has their own mind to make up their own conclusions, to come to their own conclusions. What I'm not saying, right, there's a difference between that and what I'm about to propose. I always want to advocate people looking for facts and looking for truth. That in of itself should be the highest priority. You should never be like, well, I'm going to interpret it this way, or my feelings are more important than the facts. Like, no, that's not what I'm advocating. What I'm saying is something that is very gray area, like the RWBY songs, and what I did with taking a song from Volume 2 and relating it to events of Volume 6 shouldn't result in people being like, no, I think it's about Cinder, you're wrong, you're damaging the community, you're bad, change the video or inform the public. Like, that's not my job. That's not my job. I'm a community member just like everybody else. I have a voice that might be bigger than other people's, and that's why I'm taking the time to make a video like this. We need to stop this. We need to stop. We need to stop belittling each other. We need to stop villainizing people because they don't think like we do, or they want to go against the grain. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with setting yourself apart from everyone else for the sake of creativity, for the sake of imagination, for the sake of, for the sake of theories, for the sake of discussion. And another thing we need to stop doing is comparing each other to other people, right? Like, it just needs to stop. And I'm going to put my foot forward. I'm going to put my best foot forward. I want all of us to put our best foot forward in challenging this stuff and to advocate that we're not going to deal with it. We're not going to settle for it. And if you want to be that type of person who wants to bring hate, who wants to bring aggression, who wants to bring, I guess just controversial tendencies to the community, then what are you doing here? Like, why? Like, why? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we've distanced ourselves so much from perspective, imagination, thinking outside the box, having fun. That AMV was fun. I loved doing that shit. I sacrificed my weekend to make that happen, and I loved it. But there are just some people out there that just, they're unsatisfied. They want to go against everything that's positive, everything that's just, everything that's good, everything that brings meaning or brings something to the table. So many people are talking about that. So many people are going back to the beginning of RWBY and are questioning everything. And there are some people that think that foreshadowing never existed, but that's another video for another time. But I don't know. I know this wasn't really well put together, and I know it comes from something personal for me because it is one of my videos that is affecting the community in a good way and unfortunately in a bad way. And I've seen this way too much to sit on the sidelines. I've seen this enough. I've seen it, like I said, shipping. I've seen it with theories. I've seen it with just general people like wanting to one-up each other, wanting to be right, wanting the other person to be wrong, wanting to feel important, wanting to feel like they have like they know where the show's going, like they're the writers or something. I don't know. I just know that I don't like seeing it, and I want to be at least someone who brings this to light and brings this to the table and has a conversation about it, because it's something that we need to get better with. We really do. We need to stop villainizing people. We need to stop bad-mouthing and just straight up talking shit about each other. Like, we're all here for the same reason. We're all here because of Miles, Carrie, Monty, Gray, the animators, the writers, Rooster Teeth in general. Like, why are we attacking each other? If this was the fucking world of RWBY and the gods came down to judge us, we'd be fucking Thanos like that. It's so thematic. It's ridiculous. It's like we're dividing ourselves. Like Salem, I know it's a Salem video, but Salem doesn't even have to do that job for us, and I hate it. I hate it. And like I said, I've been around since 2013 with RWBY. I've seen everything that's happened. Good, bad, controversial, and etc. And for the most part, I keep my head down because I don't like that. I don't like being a source of negativity. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't dwell on that stuff. And I also realized in recent times that, like, if I can at least, I want these type of videos to kind of wake people up or to make people a little bit more self-aware of what they do and what they say and how they treat each other. You're talking to real people. You're talking to real people. What you say affects those people on the other side of that screen, whether you want to believe it or not. And you shouldn't be so hell-bent on deconfirming or making other people feel bad because they don't think the same way as you do, because they don't have the same headcanon as you do, or because their theories differ than what you think. We're in 2018. We really all need to grow up. But ultimately, like I said, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Theory crafting in RWBY is something that I've always been very wary of. I recently did my first two theories of Volume 6, the Maria Calavera theory and the duality of Jean Arc theory, that I put a lot of time into. I'm not really good with scripted videos, but at the end of the day, I've always distanced myself from making theories because I always knew that this was going to be something that was going to happen. And now that it's happened in an AMV video of all things, I just felt the need to say something about it. So, I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, your own personal opinions or your own personal experiences with theories, or what you've seen or what you've heard in the fandom regarding this. We really need to be better about this. We need to be better about this. We need to come together, seriously, and, you know, and lift people up. Don't put people down. That doesn't do anything for anybody, unless you're egotistical, which if that's the case, then I don't know what to tell you, but I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about this, get it off my chest, get it out there to people, and, you know, hear what you guys had to say. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Take care.